Hey guys, it's Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Piofiore 1926, continuing Dante's route in Chapter 6. I don't think we're going to get our ending today in this part, but we're going to get close, if anything. So, anyway, here we go. I idly turned the pages of my book, but for some reason I couldn't focus. I took in a deep breath and looked up at the clock, but it had hardly moved at all. I looked down at the book again, but my eyes continued to skim over the pages blankly. As my shoulders slumped with a deep sigh, I heard a knock at the door. Also, my bird's sitting with me, so if you can hear him chatting along with us, and he keeps, trying to, talk into my mouth, so it's really freaking weird, so I'm apologizing now, because he's literally in my face. The Valzone soldiers assigned to guard me should be right outside. Who is it? I called out to the person behind the door, but they only knocked again. Don't answer. I closed my book and approached the door slowly, asking again who was there. This is why they installed peepholes in doors. Okay? In hotel room doors and apartment doors. This is why. Just in case you're in the mafia and you're in your hotel room and your mafia boyfriend is gone, you can peep out and be like, don't open it, it's Yang. It's probably Teo, to be honest. Did I just read that line? I closed my book and approached the door, slowly asking again who was there. I don't know if we read that, but there you go. That was speed reading. There was no reply. Something isn't right. Damn right. Sensing something was wrong, I carefully looked through the peephole. Oh, good, they do have peepholes. I'm like, I don't know if they had peepholes in 1926, okay? I wasn't there. In front of the door was Teo in a black robe. I looked at an angle to see the guards lying lifelessly on the floor. What the? Gil's words crossed my mind. My sources say it's some priest named Teo, but that's all I know about him. And it's not even like we can text Dante like, fuck, because, no texting. Wait. Teo was calmly knocking on the door. You're not going to open it? Then, if you'll allow me. He started to fidget with the doorknob. I hurriedly backed away from the door. And it's not like we can pretend we're not here, because we already were like, who is it? Honestly, when someone knocked on the door, I probably... Freaking volume is fucked up. I probably wouldn't have said anything. Because you're like... The guards would, knock and call for you. You know what I mean? Hey, Miss Spacey, you know what I mean? Instead of, just knocking on the door, waiting for you to answer. So, someone knocking on the door is sus as fuck. I don't know. Soon enough, I heard the lock click and the door slowly swung open. Girl, grab that lamp! Teo walked into the room as naturally and calmly as if I had invited him in. This is a shame Dante doesn't, you should trust us with, a knife or a little gun or some shit. I feel like Nicola would fucking train us on how to use it. He'd be like, I'm gonna teach you, so if this shit happens, you shoot them. Also, Gil. And then Dante is just gonna beat himself up for not being here to protect us, but it's like, just give me the means to protect myself in situations when you can't come to my rescue. I'm just saying, because right now I'm armed with, nothing. Because she didn't grab that damn lamp. I'd have grabbed at least the lamp, man. A book? I mean, grab your book. Beat him with it. I don't know, something. You got a lot of fucking bricks in your purse? I would never hit someone with my purse. They're my Eda bags, and, that would break some of my keychains and shit. I'm like, I ain't doing that. Anyway. Teo walked into the room as naturally and calmly as if I had invited him in. You might have read that already. I questioned him with a shaking voice. Why are you here? I heard you were in Rome, so I came by to visit. I'm just wondering how things have been recently. He spoke to me no differently from when I ran into him in Berlin. So, you're alone? Just my luck. To think I came all this way to kill him. He closed his eyes and sighed with disappointment. Raoul really can't do anything right, can he? I set everything up for him, and he still won't finish the job. What a pain. I'm pretty sure Raoul's dead, bitch. I don't know if we know that. What? Teo paid no heed to my response and simply walked toward me. I backed away again, but there was hardly anywhere to go. I was wondering who I should kill first. You or Dante Falzone. I would rather enjoy seeing you live only to experience greater despair. What to do? I didn't understand why he was doing this. I'm also confused because, like, he's supposedly your brother, and, like, even though he isn't related to you, it's like he wants to kill you. Why? Because, like, I'm gonna guess it's because I don't feel like the parents who adopted me off the streets loved me. They loved you more. And it's like, yeah, but I wasn't in their lives, so, like, suck it up, Buttercup. I mean, would you rather have been, like, an orphan on the street? Like, I get it would be kind of difficult, but, like, I don't know, get some therapy or some shit. Like, murder's not the answer. This is, like, a really You know what? People that were raised in the church have really fucked up ways of dealing with their trauma. Alright? Like, Henry's trying to kill us because, like, somebody lied to his sister. Like, dude, she pushed a pregnant woman down the stairs because she felt betrayed. Like, girl, like, I'm just saying, church people are crazy. This game is not, like, helping anybody. It's like, Jesus. The mafia looks good and the church looks psycho. There's, it's not question. Like, I don't have words. But it's kind of absurd, but kind of funny at the same time. Like, shit. Like, Jesus. Anyway. All I knew for certain was that his eyes were full of hatred toward me, which is just really interesting. I eventually backed up into the wall, and Teo began to laugh. Come now, no need to be so frightened. I'll leave after we have a little chat. When I said nothing, he frowned. I said I wanted to talk. Why are you so quiet? What a disobedient little sister you are. Yeah, 'cause the knife's gonna help. I gulped at the sight of his knife being drawn. What? Little sister? You know, Orlok's not in this one, is he? Did he die? And Nicholas, he popped in every once in a while, but I don't think he's ever shown up here, so it's like, we can't even rely on him to save us. I'm pretty sure he's dead. You remind me of my little sister, and maybe that's why I feel drawn to you. He mentioned that before, but... He approached me slowly with his knife in hand. I could feel the pressure of the wall growing stronger against my back. Don't move. That was not a very good introduction to Dante busting in the room. Sorry. Anyway, the strength in his voice cut through the air. Oh, sure, just make fun of me, game. Oh, hell yeah. There's just... Okay, I love Dante, but, like, when Gil's got his guns drawn, it's just kind of hot. She's, you know... I'm not going to forsake Dante, don't get me wrong. I love him to death. But, like, Gil's pretty suave when he's like this. And when they were beating each other, you're like, you know... Damn it, Gil. I looked to the door to see Dante and Gil stepping through the doorway. Dante... I shouted his name with relief. I'm glad he got to save us, though. You know what I mean? Because that's, like, his job here. Sometimes I hate it when they make, like, the main character, like, a delicate little wallflower who can't do anything. But in this case, it's 1926, and we're little church girls. So, like, it makes sense that we're like, I'm gonna punch you, Tail. You know what I mean? But anybody else would be, like, terrified, but maybe try to kick or punch or something. You know, in this case, we definitely need him to rescue us. So I'm glad, you know, he did. It wouldn't be fitting for us to, like, I punched him in the face or hit him with a lamp. I'm just saying we could have tried the lamp, you know? Would have been fine. Has the prince arrived? What a shame. I suppose we can't talk now, so I should head home. Leo's languid voice conveyed that he had lost interest, and he calmly turned away from me. I don't think they're just going to let him go. But he's going to get out. Deo! He still hadn't revealed any information about why he came after me. Without answering, he continued walking away in the direction of the open doorway. Dante and Gil stood in front of him, blocking his escape. I mean, he brought a knife to a gunfight, but I'm just going to say, I'm pretty sure he's skilled with using that knife, so. You really think I'd let you go? Dante's voice came out in an angry growl. Teo had already moved before I realized it. Dante and Gil kept their guns aimed at Teo as he slipped between them, but given that they were in each other's line of fire, neither of them pulled the trigger. That moment of hesitation was precisely the opportunity Teo expected. In a split second, he disappeared from the room without a trace. Could you imagine they shoot each other and then he's like, well, there you go, 2 birds, 1 gun. Well, 2 guns, but still, whatever. Space, are you alright? Did he hurt you? I'm fine. Dante came running toward me instead of chasing after Teo. As for Gil, he returned to the room after a few seconds, exhaling disappointedly. It was clear that Teo had vanished so quickly that Gil was unable to follow him. The bodyguards. I hoped that they had only been knocked unconscious. Seeing Dante shaking his head in silence made my voice stop in my throat. Gil lowered his gun quietly. That's no ordinary priest. What we've got in our hands is an assassin. I'm not sure who's popping. Is it Henry? Is it Orlok? Because is Orlok dead in this route? Who's popping in here? I don't know. But anyway, just going to read it normal because I don't know. Indeed, splendid observation. He has undergone training as a disciple. I feel like it should be Orlok, but... Oh no, it's Emilio! Emilio! I forgot about Emilio. Oh my god, I can't believe I forgot about Emilio. I think Orlok might be dead in Dante's route because I don't think we've seen him the whole game. We get this far in and I'm like, I can't remember who was where and what. You know what I mean? Especially when they don't show up often. Then I'm like, is Orlok dead in this one? Have we seen him? Because I remember seeing him, but it's been like 5 other routes. You know what I mean? So it's like, I kind of forget who's dead, what, when, where, why, and how. But like, I cannot fucking believe that I forgot about Emilio. Emilio! Anyway. So, I looked up at the sound of the gentle voice. A young man with golden hair peeked his head out from behind Gil. And Gil's like, how the fuck did this kid get behind me? I knew who it was. Emilio. The girl. No, I need... Emilio! You know, you gotta say it. You gotta scream it. Come on, this is what we do here. My volume just will not fucking, like... I don't know what is happening. It's just so loud. You know him? Gil was on the alert and already braced for a fight. But Dante responded. I love the fact that Gil is, like, ready to fight this literal innocent fucking looking child. Emilio is like the perfect assassin because he looks so sweet and innocent, and he'd like come at you with a knife and you'd be like, you're not gonna stab me, and he'd stab you and you'd be like, I don't believe you'd stab... What? Nah. You wouldn't even, like, you could literally see it coming and still not see it coming, you know what I mean? Yes, his name is Emilio. He's with the church. He, as well as an ally to the Falzone. Feels like I don't trust anyone from the church, except for Emilio. And Orlok. Was like, you know. Although Orlok's on shaky ground, I'm not gonna lie. You know what I mean? Because he was doing shady shit for the church. But, like, he didn't realize it was shady. You know what I mean? So, like, but Emilio, I don't know. I trust Emilio. Emilio has never betrayed us, ever. Gil looked at Emilio from top to bottom with an incredulous expression. I knew that Gil was wondering to himself how old Emilio was. We are all wondering that. He's, like, literally 300 in the body of a 10-year-old. Unperturbed by the staring, Emilio spoke in his usual tranquil way. His name is Teo, a priest of the church who journeyed here to visit you all. No, to visit the Key Maiden. Me? I couldn't hide the confusion I felt as Dante looked at me worriedly. Raoul said an associate of his from the church was headed to this hotel. I'm glad I made it back in time, but... Sorry, I should never have left you alone. Really, you wanted me to be there when you tortured Raoul? Because I don't think I could handle that. I could handle that. She could not. Okay. I kind of forgot that's exact. I was like, where the hell were they? Then I was like, oh yeah, they were torturing Raoul. Damn. It's literally been a day. I recorded the other part yesterday, and I just could not remember that well. Good God. Dante... Sorry. I rested my shaky hand on Dante's arm. Feeling his warmth gave me the strength to speak. That person, Teo, he's the same Teo I met back in Berlin. Like that man was trying to pick you up. Yeah, but he called me his sister, so like I wouldn't be worried. Dante's eyes widened in surprise. But he seemed like any ordinary person, and he said he'd just moved to Berlone. I don't recall him ever mentioning that he was a priest. My voice shook slightly as I spoke. Dante and Gil looked stunned as well. However, Emilio continued on with his usual smile. Teo could have killed you today, no doubt, but it seems as though he'll not do so until he's had his conversation with you. Seeing that I couldn't speak, Dante turned to Emilio. According to Raoul, Teo wishes to have us both dead. However, he didn't seem to understand the motive behind it. Is that why Teo approached me before? Because I'm his target? It would also explain who killed your undercover bodyguard and why. He must have known someone was watching you. Someone who would only get in the way. Wasn't the guard killed on the day of the provisioning? That was when Teo came to talk to me, too. Emilio, can I ask you something? Why is Teo targeting me? I cannot share with you. Okay, I don't know why my brain stopped being able to read that for a hot second. I thought I was reading it wrong, but no, I cannot share with you. That's exactly what he said. Good Lord. I cannot share with you what lies in another's heart. Should you wish to know the reason, Teo must be the one to tell you. I mean, he's a member of the church, isn't he? Something tells me they're not just going to let us walk in without an invitation. I kind of feel like you're allowed to walk into churches without an invitation. The whole point. Are you saying we should wait for him to attack her again? Dante glared at Emilio, who looked at him good-naturedly as he acknowledged our point of view. Could you just imagine? Look at sweet, precious little Emilio and Dante and Gil glaring at him, guns at the ready. Just two mafia bosses like, take you out, you son of a bitch. And Emilio's just like, anyway. Just being Emilio. Not fazed by it at all. He's like, I've seen so much shit. If you killed me right now, it wouldn't even bother me. We know that. Emilio's like, please, God, put me out of my misery. I'm just going to be reborn again. Sucks. Like, Emilio's like, I'm not looking forward to the diaper stage again. That kind of sucks. And then, like, I want to walk, but my stupid toddler body doesn't want to do anything about it. You know what I mean? Do you imagine that he is like, like, if he knows everything he's ever known right now and he's in this tiny little body, like, is he just an angel or does he actually get reborn? Because I thought in one of the other parts it made it sound like he just, like, if he dies, he's reborn. You know what I mean? So, like, could you just imagine Emilio being reborn and then is like, fuck, I gotta do this again? And, like, knowing everything from the last millennia and just being like, I can't get these stupid fucking chubby baby legs to work. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what the frick, poor child? That would suck. Anyway. That would certainly be cause for concern. Very well, let me see what I can do. I will make arrangements for him to appear in a more neutral fashion. It will take some time, so I do hope you can be patient for now. I was too confused to know what to say, but Emilio gave a benevolent smile. Emilio, tell me, why go to all this trouble for us? No, you admit he's associated with the church. Shouldn't it be for the church to resolve this matter instead of leaving it to us? A hint of melancholy came over Emilio's smile, as though he were in a quandary of his own. I believe I've mentioned this before, but the church is not as unified as you may think. I also am not in a position to intervene. And yet, here I am to provide my assistance. I can accept your frustration, but I do welcome gratitude as well. Tips are welcome. Dante glaring at Emilio right now is so good. I just love Dante's fucking angry face. It's beautiful. With just the fucking sus look in his eyes that he's given to fucking Emilio while Emilio's over there like, look how cute I am. It's just fucking fun. God, I love this game so much. Frickin' Route is the best. I've said that like 700 times, but it just keeps getting funnier. And now then, until we meet again. He serenely bid us farewell and departed the room that had grown oddly silent. I suddenly snapped out of my daze and quickly turned to Dante to apologize. Breathe when you're reading, Spacey, Jesus. I'm sorry, Dante. I should have told you about Teo sooner. No, I already had him looked into, but found nothing suggesting his true intentions. Even if you had told me, it wouldn't have changed much. A part of me was still in denial. Teo was just like any other young man walking through the streets of Berlin.
I don't know why he wants to kill us, or what Emilio has planned, but if we're being given another opportunity, we'll have to take it. Definitely. It does solve one mystery, at least. This Teo guy really was the source of our problems, wasn't he?
Dante looked at Gil and nodded.
He was pulling strings from behind to bring down the Falzone. It's my duty as boss to teach him a lesson. And if Teo has plans to hurt her, it's my duty as a man to make sure that doesn't happen.
I'm here for this. I like it. The look of determination on Dante's face was unmistakable. He then turned to me.
I'm thinking about staying in Rome until Emilio contacts us again. Is that all right with you?
Yes. There was certainly no way we could return to Berlin in the midst of all of this. Gil smiled brightly.
Now then, guess it's time for a good meal.
Huh?
Where did that come from? You want to spend the rest of your time here sulking in this room like a couple of misers? What you need is a nice stroll outside.
Fucking love Gil. I really do. He just really wins you over. I'm just saying, again, like I said in like the prior part, probably, is like, Gil was one of those like, yeah, I mean, he's good looking, but I didn't think he was gonna be like one of my favorites, you know what I mean? Because it's like, he's just like that dude, you know what I mean? He's still got that kind of dude vibe, like, don't get me wrong. You're like the characters that you really enjoy, but you're like, they're not my favorite type of love interest. But like, Gil is like, also adds some charm in there that you're like, I can't kind of resist this now. But I mean, shit's changed from like the beginning, man, because like, there's always the himbos, and you're like, I mean, Gil's kind of like a himbo, I guess. Yeah, I guess out of all of them, he'd be the himbo character. He's still smart, though, so not exactly a true himbo, because they're usually stupid. You know? Kind of dumb. Anyway, but he's, I guess, the most himbo we have out of all these guys. So... And they're usually not my favorites, and yet for some reason in this, and then fucking Raoul and Cupid Parasite, yeah, was like, I don't know what happened. I was like, you were my favorite. I love you to death, you dumbass. Like, I don't know. I don't know what's happening. Shit is just getting weird all over here. I will never stop loving the weird circus magician looking kind of ones, okay? They're like, I'm sorry, that vibe I'm here for. Just because I'm really looking forward to Radiant Tail and like the character in there that I can't date that I'm in love with. Like that one, but I can't date him. Maybe he's a secret route. Don't tell me. I'm just knowing this because there's all this news of all these other things coming and like the fan disc coming out. And it's like, so we can have that too localized, maybe. Coming out in Japan, not localized yet, but crossing fingers, motherfucker, because they've been doing really good at like, you have the game localized, we're going to localize the fan discs. So I'm just really fucking hoping that we're in our era, man, where like the game comes out and then a fan disc gets released and they're like, we should localize it. Yeah, you should. Yeah, you should. Excited about that. Just localize it all. Everything. Everything. I mean, God. It's good to be an Otome fan right now. Hard because there's so much fucking shit and I got like so many games on the back burner and then there's more coming out and by the time we get through the like I can't keep up, but I am not complaining about that. I'd rather be in that than like, well, we're done and we have nothing to play. You know? It's like, there's so much, I can't handle it, I love it. That's the kind of stress I want in my life. So I'm here for this. Anyway. But I'm just saying, shit's changed, because like, I don't know where the himbos came out of left fucking field, and it's like, oh, hi, I kind of love some of you now, this is interesting. Wasn't expecting that at all. Anyway. Dante initially seemed stunned by the suggestion, but soon responded with a smile.
That sounds very much like you, Gilbert. What do you think? Shall we go for a stroll?
Well, I suppose I wouldn't mind going out now. In fact, I am starting to feel a bit hungry. I'd love to enjoy a nice meal while we're here. I tried my best to keep my spirits up. As Dante looked back at me, his gaze softened. I suppose he could tell that I was putting up a brave front for everyone's sake. As expected, he was too kind to question me, and I felt immensely grateful for it. Also, I just want to say, because I heard one of you saying it, I'm not going to start falling in love with the Lolly Boys, okay? Like, I will love them as characters, like, Orlok, you're a sweet little thing, but it's not going to change. I'm not going to be like, that's not exactly true. Noritsune and Biroshana is kind of almost in that Lollyboy boat, but that route was something else. Not going to spoil it, but that route is literally the MVP of all Otome routes ever. Okay? He is an honorary queen crown for that route. But I'm not going to turn around and be like, oh my god, this one's my favorite. I love them, but like, not like, I'm into the man harem. Because they look 12 and I'm fucking old, man. Like, I'm too old for the sweet little baby faces. You know? For the most part. Sometimes all the characters have kind of baby face, and you're like, they all kind of have it. So, you know. Anyway. I just heard one of you saying that. I know what you were thinking. You're like, she didn't like the himbos, and now she likes some himbos, and it's only a matter of time. But no, that's not going to happen. There's always exceptions to every rule. Like, there's going to be times where you're like, I do love him. Look at his cute little thing. But it's going to be more like, I want to keep you like a pet. You know what I mean? Than like, you know, actual, like, man harem man. You know what I mean? Anyway. I had to, you know, because someone was going to say it. I know you were. I know you. Night had arrived, and Gil made reservations for us at a restaurant nearby. Ristorante nearby. It's weird when they throw that in there, because it's just like, you have to kind of say it all Italian-like, and it just seems weird. Dante naturally pulled out my seat for me, and while I felt a bit bashful about accepting the gesture, I did so with a smile. I mean, I feel like in 1926, that's kind of more expected than, like, now you'd be like, oh, a little giggly, you know? We ordered a bottle of Furlano wine? Oh. Furlano wine? It's like fruit, but it's Furlano wine? I don't know why my brain can't process and say, like, Furlano, like fruit. Because I just, for some reason, want to enunciate the letters fucking different. I don't know. Furlano wine and toasted to the evening ahead. I'm assuming it has something to do with fruit. A grape variety widely grown in the Friuli, Venezia, Giulia, and Veneto regions. Okay, I can't. That's too many fucking Italian places. For our antipasto, we had bruschetta with diced tomatoes and basil. Bruschetta is so fucking good. Which paired nicely with the spicy and smooth white wine. Spicy wine. How is... Interesting. Spicy wine.
Just so we're on the same page, Dante.
He'll look straight at Dante as he set down his glass on the table.
I consider you a friend, same as before. Sorry if it sounded like I was lying about it.
Is Dante gonna blush now? My god, I love that they're having this little bromance moment.
No, I'm the one who should apologize, Gilbert. I made assumptions on my own and reacted out of emotion. Sorry.
My god. They're apologizing to each other about their lover squirrel. I'm so into this. In the peaceful environment of this restaurant, Dante and Gil, I was like, Dylan Gante. I swear I'm not drunk. Dante and Gil exchanged heartfelt apologies.
There may come a time when we're both forced to make sacrifices for the sake of our families. Such a choice will not be easy, but it's a responsibility we cannot relinquish. We make decisions that affect not only us, but the lives and futures of others.
While it seemed that he was referring to the future of the Mafia, it also sounded as though the recent purge was still weighing on his mind. He wasn't in a position where he could absolve himself of the duty of choice, nor the guilt that would inevitably follow. I suppose that was the burden he had to bear.
We may also find ourselves one day trading our honor for something we cannot bear to lose. If such a situation arises, then we can act on our desires as people, not as Mafia. And that was something Space reminded me of.
I knew exactly what he meant. I'm sorry, Bird. I'm sorry. It's just, Jesus motherfucking Christ, does his volume keep going up? It's not even loud. But it's like the volume is not even that high, but I'm like, good God. Like, it's screaming in my ear, like, what is it? Something about Italian music, it just, like, burrows into your brain. I don't know.
And the Falzone family, my mission, you, this town, I want to protect them all. Every single one of them. Well said. Couldn't have put it better myself.
Gil nodded in agreement and then looked at me with a playful smile.
You know, if I had a senorina like you by my side, maybe I wouldn't have gone through all the trouble I did to get to where I am now.
Been there, done that, Gil. I mean, literally. Absolutely. But I'm just saying, like, I still have eyes for Oliver.
Say, Space, if you ever get in a fight with Dante, you can always come to me.
Now, Dante's face. I love his angry face. It's so cute. Because it's supposed to be intimidating, but it's so not. Is it not? I mean, I feel like he's glaring at Gil, but I can't even think Gil would be like, you're just adorable and just wants to ruffle his hair and like boop him on the nose. You know what I mean? Like, his little angry face is so precious. Is it just me? Might just be me. I don't know.
Stop right there. I won't be giving her up to anyone.
Dante interrupted Gil mid-sentence. I have to admit, we sometimes don't agree on certain things, so we have had a fight or two. But in fighting and making up, I see new sides of Dante I've never seen before. And I just end up falling for him even more. Although I was only expressing my honest thoughts, I couldn't help but blush. I mean, you just said that out loud at the table and you're like, oh, I mean, okay. So, thank you, Gil, but there's no need to worry about us. Not to mention, Dante always apologizes to me, so our fights are short-lived. Surprised Dante's not blushing profusely while staring at us with this angry... Like, he's glaring at Gil, and then we say this, and he's like, why would you say that out loud? Gil grinned and glanced over at Dante.
Looks like I'm interrupting a romantic dinner.
And to be honest, I'd appreciate it if you could finish your meal as soon as possible. Dante gave a dry response to Gil's teasing. Gil snickered, then let out a hearty laugh.
Well, don't worry. I'm leaving for Chicago tomorrow morning anyway.
Already?
It does take a few weeks to get to America. Got a lot of work to do and not much time to do it. I have a meet set up with some guys down there, but I won't be away for long.
Please be careful, Gil. It takes a couple weeks to get there, so you will be gone for a while.
I'll give you Nicola's contact information. I've already told him to offer help, so if you need anything, just let him know. Grazie. Should be able to send over some good news soon, so just you wait.
Yes, and let me know once you're settled. Good luck. I could tell that Dante was concerned. Hope. Ooh. Okay, this is like the first thing we've done in this chapter, so... And we're like 30 minutes in, I guess, to this part. So yeah, I don't think we're going to get the ending this part, so... Rather than entering the church, I once again made my way to the graveyard behind it. The funny part is I was wondering when we were dealing with Teo, I'm like, where the fuck is Henry? Like, here we go. I had visited many times without flowers, so as not to alert anyone to my purpose here, as though it was mere happenstance. But tonight I brought some white lilies with me. And the same thought echoed in my mind since that night. Having failed to kill Dante Falzone, I returned to the place where I was staying. It was then that my brethren from the church appeared. Why are you here, Teo? To ridicule you, of course. Where's your resolve, Henry? You could have killed him. You had plenty of chances. He's even had his back to you before. Why didn't you do it? We were supposed to help each other. I thought I'd come to hear what you had to say for yourself. The young man smiled derisively at me. On whom should I exact my vengeance? Alas, I know not. Huh? He seethed with irritation. Are you stupid? What is it you've been living for? Was it not revenge? We both know you're no stranger to murder, yet after so many years you're still utterly incapable of killing Dante Falzone. You're a funny guy, you know that? Why the hell do you think I got you out of the church? I usually kill useless men like you, but you did provide me with worthwhile information. Since we were once partners, I'll let it slide this time. Not like you're any threat to me. Go ahead, enjoy that worthless life of yours. I believe I know Teo's objective. It is to bring misfortune to her. He's determined to make her suffer. And to do that, he'll do everything to rid her of her love and any happiness she may have. knew that they left Boulogne, and the stage was now set in Rome. And the keeper of the grave, the key maiden, and they do not know Teo's objective. I have no right to intervene. They did not need my help. Or did they?
Then Henry's gonna all of a sudden help us?
I'll leave the rest to you. What to think, what to choose. Will you recognize your true role in all this? Allow me to at least pray for the very best, to pray that you'll have no regrets.
Did we know that in that scene he was talking to Henry, or did we just assume? I remember.
I see. It's not a case of what I should do. It's a case of what I choose to do. If so, what was it that I desired?
I could tell that Dante was concerned, but I was confident that Gil would be able to find success wherever he was. Judging by Dante's expression, I was sure he felt the same way, too. Morning had arrived. Dante took a long while to wake up, probably because of everything that happened yesterday. He somehow managed to get dressed, but his tired hand now rested against his head. My head hurts. Would you like some water, Dante? Yes, thank you. Dante slowly took the glass of water I offered him and had a few sips. Well, I guess it doesn't help that he drank so much wine yesterday. Both Gil and Dante must have been happy to mend the broken bridge between them. And their broken ribs. Dante, why don't you go back to sleep? No, I have some business to take care of. I'm sure I'll get calls too, and I'll wake you up if a call comes. Forcing yourself now may only make you feel worse. I keep showing you this pathetic side of me. Always asleep when I'm needed most. No, you just have like 2 glasses of wine and you conk out. Like, you're a lightweight, girl. Those words made me remember when Dante had a fever last year. It's nothing. Back then, Dante and I were living and hiding at a hotel. Well, when it's just us alone together, seeing you like this is quite endearing. Aww, you knew that was going to make him blush. Dante fell silent with embarrassment, so I took the opportunity to kiss him on the forehead. I finally convinced him to go back to bed and have some rest for now. Few days passed since Gil left for Chicago. Dante and I were still in Rome, waiting for any word from Emilio. Few more soldiers from Boulogne came to join the few surviving bodyguards. Dante seemed to be getting calls every day from all over the place. Even senior members of the Falzone needed to contact him regularly to confirm directives. And... was that Nicola just now? Dante nodded. I'm having him keep an eye on the stock market. We're gathering information on what and when to buy and sell. And timing is important, and it requires difficult judgments to be made. But you trust him, right? Dante just silently stares at you. I'm just kidding. The corners of Dante's mouth curved into a smile. It was such a simple answer. Suddenly, the phone rang again. Dante quickly picked up the receiver. Yes, connect us. How's Venice, Leo? The weather, well, that can't be helped. Waterlogged. I see. That's not good. I mean, it's Venice. Isn't all of Venice basically waterlogged? Oh. I couldn't hear everything, but from this side it wasn't sounding very pleasant. And what have you found? Dante gave a heavy sigh at Leo's answer. Understood. And good work, Leo. Dante set down the receiver. The expression on his face was grim. It appeared he'd just received some bad news, and I couldn't help asking out of curiosity. No, I did read that right. I don't know why. Okay, whatever. Was that Leo? Has there been a problem? Dante hesitated for a moment, then solemnly looked me in the eye. I wanted to keep this a secret since I didn't want to get your hopes up, but I had Leo investigate something down in Venice. Investigate what? We found records of your parents' residence there. I gasped at the news.
It was the first and only thing I had ever learned about my parents.
We didn't know where exactly they lived, so I sent Leo there to find out, but it seems the trail has reached a dead end. Sorry.
No, don't worry. I'm just happy that you would go to all that trouble for me. I could sincerely feel how much Dante cared about me, and my heart filled with gratitude. That's actually kind of nice. He's like, I just wanted to go find your mom and dad. Like, aw, thanks. Ooh, Yuan. Oh, I forgot about this fucker. Oh god, I gotta get Yuan's voice back. Like, Ghirlandaio died, did he? How very deserved. For stepping into our territory with such meager knowledge. I looked at the report again and smiled. But to think that the Visconti have actually turned their backs on us. They shall pay for their disobedience. Surely they've already anticipated this. All in order to side with the Falzone. The Luhuan who would be at a disadvantage if the Burlone Mafia joined forces. Of course, sending some of our men from the mainland into Burlone would solve everything. However, considering the state of their country, there's little value in pursuing them at this point. And they may even collapse upon themselves, and I can watch it unfold from here. I had no problem biding my time for the next opportunity. Rui's watchful eye would inform me of their comings and goings, and that would suffice for the time being. That's true. Wasn't like Rui living over there with Lee and the twins because Yang's dead? But it's like that kind of just also like disappeared. I don't know. Like there's so many like weird little side stories that are just like, oh yeah, like it's intriguing, but at the same time, then you get to this point and you're like, oh yeah, there was a bunch of fucking other trails that never went anywhere, like this. You know. Is that all going to come to a head? And then Teo, and then Henry's going to pop in. It's going to be like all of these converging together. It's going to be kind of fucking a mess. But I'm interested to see how that's going to go. I could sincerely feel how much Dante cared about me, and my heart filled with gratitude. I was beyond appreciative for whatever information could be found about my parents. Hearing such surprising and wonderful news made my day, and I felt so incredibly blessed. The church took me in and tended to my wounds. They began referring to me by some strange title I didn't understand. We're Teo. Never mind. Because we're not prospective disciples, so we must be Teo. The church took me in and tended to my wounds. They began referring to me by some strange title I didn't understand. Prospective disciple. And so marked the beginning of my days in hell. This is really what God wanted for me. Was I the only disciple with doubts? Many who had lived here from a young age gave their faith blindly and willingly. It seemed incomprehensible that I'd be among them with so little faith of my own. My family and my home had been taken from me. On occasion, a disciple would be chosen among the prospectives. Only the most talented and gifted were able to participate in the selection process. All others continued their rigorous training. And only into the age of 18. The older I got, the more desperate I became. Most of us were worn down and broken by the end. I somehow managed to survive. However, I was never nominated for selection, and my time as a prospective disciple expired. The blood I had shed over 13 years of hell amounted to absolutely nothing. I received another telegram from Nicola today. In his message, he wrote, "The boycott of that company's vehicles by the Jewish community had caused their stocks to fall. Consumers had taken their business to other manufacturers and new companies. The stocks in which we had invested had risen, resulting in substantial profit. According to Nicola, that alone was enough to secure our financial future." I breathed a sigh of relief. In order to maintain the family business, what we needed first and foremost was money. In fact, we needed the funds now more than ever in order to bribe politicians who had become markedly more intransigent. It's all thanks to Space. She was the one who inspired me. Aw. I don't know how, but sure. A message to me? From Nicola? Dante smiled and nodded with the telegram in hand.
Yes, he wanted to thank you for helping the family's boss.
Really? I don't recall doing anything special. I tried to think back on what happened recently that would have merited his thanks. Suddenly, someone knocked on the door.
Boss, there's a priest from the church here to see you. Let him in.
The door opened to reveal... Ah, I see I've kept you waiting. As promised, I've made some arrangements. I was like, Teo is here without killing people? That seems weird. Teo wishes to see you as well, Spacey. The news made both of my fists clench involuntarily. I'm sorry. Emilio! I forgot. Okay.
You're not saying she has to come? It's too dangerous of a risk to take.
Emilio looked at Dante with compassion and smiled as calmly as he usually did. I feel like I read that wrong. I feel like you're not saying she has to come. Should have been more like that, I guess. Anyway, unfortunately, I do not believe he'll appear should you decide to go alone. You may also consider what might happen if she stays behind. I see that you have more guards now, but they may provide little protection. Touché. Dante, I want to go with you. If he wants to see me, then I need to know why. Dante fell silent. After a moment of thought, he spoke.
I understand. Know that you're involved. You shouldn't be left behind.
His grave concern was clear to me, as well as how deeply he cared for my well-being. You're to meet him tomorrow evening on the rooftop of the basilica. Emilio smiled serenely. Evening had arrived. Dante suggested that we go and have our dinner at a nice place near the hotel. Since we'd be meeting Teo tomorrow, it was unlikely he would come looking for us today. We walked out of the hotel and into the city streets toward a restaurant in the area. He paused every now and again to think to himself, but otherwise behaved as usual. I broke open a piping hot Roman supli, something. Inside was seasoned rice with warm mozzarella oozing out of the broken halves. We had pasta bolognese made with ground meat and diced vegetables, simmered in wine and ripe tomatoes. We spent dinner chatting and laughing together over our delicious meal and drinks. It is actually kind of funny in this game, and obviously the first one too, because, I've forgotten it, but, they spend an awful lot of time being like, oh, we had a nice dinner, but they have to describe the dinner and tell you exactly what they ate. I can't think of any other game where they're just like, oh, and then they describe the food. They're just like, oh, we went out for dinner or whatever. Or they just pass it, but they describe it so much here. And I just feel like whoever was writing this game was just really into Italian food and just got into it and was like, oh, this sounds good because it's different. You know what I mean? It's Japanese writers writing about Italian food. I mean, I'm going to guess that there's not a lot of Italian food places in Japan. Just throwing that out there. You know what I mean? It's not like here in the US where you're I'm not saying it's authentic Italian. We have Americanized Italian, but you can find Italian places that are kind of okay. You know what I mean? You can find all different types of places. Fully authentic? Not necessarily. But, you can probably find, nice Italian restaurants that are, a lot more authentic than, the local joint. You know what I mean? But, so I just feel like whoever wrote this was just I have to describe all this food and dessert. Because I feel like we just spent so much time in this game talking about our food and desserts. It's intense. It's just funny. I don't mind it. It's just funny. I'm amused by it. Afterward, Dante and I walked arm in arm back to the hotel. At some point, Dante mumbled quietly. You know what I mean? Because it's if they were talking about oh, we grabbed a cheeseburger, they wouldn't be oh, we grabbed a cheeseburger, warm meat between the sesame seed bun with the cheese drip. You know what I mean? They'd just be it was a cheeseburger. You know what I mean? So it's just funny that I just feel there's more description. Not quite as intense as that, but there's still just slightly more descriptors about this Italian food than there is any other food in any other game. Anyway, at some point, Dante mumbled quietly. About this Teo person who's trying to kill us. Being with the church, his motive may be tied to the legend of the Key Maiden and the mission of the Falzone family. Ah. So that was what he had been thinking about all evening. The assumption did make sense. I looked at Dante and listened quietly.
It's not unusual for us in the Mafia to be targeted over grudges and retribution. I only regret that you must be involved in this as well.
But if it's related to the Key Maiden, there was no avoiding my involvement. So there's no need to worry, Dante. I hope you don't feel guilty about that. As I spoke, my steps had slowed to a stop. He stopped as well, listening to me carefully.
If Teo is really trying to kill you, then I will do everything in my power to stop him, regardless of his reason. And that's something that will never change. It's an oath I'll keep no matter what. However, hearing him out would solve the mystery of why he bears this grudge against us.
I agree. I want to know the reason why he would do something like this. Everybody's got a grudge against us. I mean, Jesus. Knowing that Dante and I shared the same thoughts came as an immense comfort to me. However, he himself looked very anxious.
And taking the initiative to attack would thwart that goal on all sides, which means we'll be walking into this at a disadvantage. It scares me to know that I'll be knowingly putting you in harm's way.
I'll be fine, really. I mean, yeah, because it's not going to bad end, so I'll be fine. I did my best to convey to both Dante and myself that everything would be all right. Dante, you've never failed to protect me. I'll do my best to stay as safe as possible. Faith that everything will go well tomorrow. Just don't worry, Dante.
Space.
Really, I'll be fine. I promise. I extended my pinky finger to Dante. He looked at it for a moment, then he smiled gently and hooked his own pinky finger with mine. It's a promise. Okay, I was like, come on, when they do the white screen, I expect a CG. And yes, oh, look at how adorable this is. Stop it. With our fingers locked, he pulled me in and gave my hand a tender kiss. My heart raced as I felt the warmth from his lips along with his gentle breathing. The reverence of his kiss made it feel as though we were offering a prayer.
In exchange for your promise, I will make my own, to protect you no matter what.
I felt the strength of his vow emanating from his voice.
I cannot bear to lose you. And believe in me, no matter what comes our way, I will protect you with all I have.
Yes, I believe in you. I mean, I do too, but like, isn't that like the sweetest fucking thing? Stop it, I'm gonna die. I love Dante because I hate him. I mean, I hate Dante because I love him. You know what I mean? Like, I love him so much and it makes me like, I hate you. Stop it. You're giving me all the feels and I can't handle it. But that's why I love him, because I get all the feels. Despite the situation ahead, I felt no fear. Memories of him flashed through my mind. I knew Dante would never break his promise. In the entire time I had known him, he had protected me without fail. Through all the dangers that we had been through, we always survived together.
Ah, this again. My memories of the facility were incessant. A bowl of cold, plain soup, a moldy piece of bread. What a wonderful facility where every sign of emotion was beaten out of us orphans, whether laughter or tears.
Hey, dear, look, this eye, it looks just like hers.
Oh, you're right. Her eyes were the same color. It seemed to really like my right eye. They would praise its emerald color as it reminded them of their precious daughter.
Yes, you were born a bit earlier than her, which is why you're her older brother, Teo.
My beloved little sister. The reason her family was miserable. I was dragged out of the bottom of a quagmire, finally having a warm place to call home. You were the one who destroyed that. It seemed I had fallen asleep. I would never have expected a future where I'd be involved with the Mafia. All I know is that the place I once called home is in shambles. And I've returned to hell after arriving at the church. I learned that it was righteous to kill in the name of God. Our harsh training was a trial for him, they said. We're brainwashed.
With our endless training, we were given no other choice but to obey. We could only force ourselves to survive. The greatest disciple to emerge from that cruelty, Warlock, believed every word of their teachings. True disciples were few and far between. Those who survived that ordeal became nothing more than monsters. Been filled with misfortune. My little sister must endure the same. How I would have loved to learn that she had lived a life of misery. Instead, she'd been blessed with happiness, protected by her dear lover in a church of her own that was entirely different from mine. How is that my fault, though? You know what I mean? Like, people are psycho in this. The church is just making everyone crazy. Like, good fucking God. I need to show her what life is truly about. Teo, I must speak with you. I never knew what was going through his mind. For some reason, Amelia had given me the opportunity to speak with them. Very convenient. Will not fail this time. Yes, you will. Yes, you will! Let misfortune fall upon my dear little sister. Emilio! We're Emilio. The stars would soon shine faint in the sky. And nowadays it's the city that lights up the sky, and the guidance of the stars cannot be seen so clearly by those on earth. Such was the way of the universe. Knowledge was always being built upon the sands, only to collapse again into obscurity. I have no intention of meddling in the ways of others, but I am interested in the paths they take. I pray that their hearts not be led astray, and that they look to the future with courage and wisdom. The keeper of the grave who guarded the sacred relic, the key maiden chosen by the stars. And now, another whose own fate was twisted by the maiden's existence. Their destinies would soon cross. I'm assuming he means Henry. Well, the evening bells tolled that the end shall now begin. The end, but like, you know. It's like it just goes black screen for a hot second and you're like, what's happening? Like, only in a few minutes. I'm gonna just read this as us because I have no idea where I have no idea who we are. There was a place atop a hill in Rome, surrounded by stone ramparts, whatever. I can't read today. I couldn't read that whole sentence. There was a place atop a hill in Rome, surrounded by stone ramparts. It was said that a saint was once martyred here, and a church built upon the site. There you go. Okay, I read a sentence. A priest of some renown had gathered clergy and followers alike to further spread the word. Though I was raised in a church, this was my first time visiting such a special place. Within this hallowed space, an air of holiness and the divine could clearly be felt. Dante and I passed by grand pillars and statues of saints as we walked toward the basilica. Emilio said we were to meet on the rooftop terrace leading from the cupola. The sky was dyed in gold, and the sunset shone upon the basilica as the time drew nearer. This is where Emilio met Orlok and shit like that. But anyway, we're a little under time, but we've gone over, and there is no way that this scene is not going to go on for days. Like, you know what I mean? Just because it's kind of like the final climax, I'm assuming. So, yeah, and I kind of just scrolled up that there are no more choices. This is the end. So, we're not going to get our good ending today. We'll get it in the next part, most likely. So I'm trying to think. Nope. We're going to have at least 3 more parts probably left because we still have to do when we do the bad endings. We have 2 full freaking chapters for the bad endings to do. The bad endings always take us like 2 parts. So, oh, there you go. I was thinking we only had like 3 total left, but no. You know, like 2 after this, but we'll have 3 after this. So, yeah. Anyway, we'll probably get our good ending in the next part, whether that be a short part or a normal. I don't really know. Anyway, I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more. Sorry, that was my bird. He gave you kisses. Sorry. Anyway, bye.